Happy Friday, Floss Tube. Caroline here, and this is a Stitch With Me video. And this is my fourth attempt at this Stitch With Me video, and filming it out of desperation on my phone instead of my camera, because when I was trying to manipulate my camera tripod, it's one of those little octopus ones, I snapped off one of the legs. The metal just gave up the ghost and it just snapped right off. So I had a good laugh at myself, because literally it is now 1:45. I have been trying to film this video for the last half an hour. So phone it is, and the phone is not ideal because it doesn't like to translate to my computer very easily, so it might take me a little longer to upload this, but that's all right. No worries. We'll figure it out somehow. I might have to break the video up into smaller parts. So just hello and welcome. Happy Friday. I would be remiss to not mention the coronavirus. And I bring it up only because it's on everybody's mind. Of course, it is also on my mind as well. But I just wanted to put this up front, that other than just a couple of more sentences here right now, I'm not going to be talking about it for the remainder of the video. I think we're all worried. We're all a little stressed out. And I think we could all use a little bit of a breath, just to take a little breath for half an hour before we get back to it. So this is my little bit of breathing space. I am currently working on the most beautiful sampler. This was my January New Year New Start that I started with Brian Blitz Stitch here on YouTube, and it is this glorious chart by Brenda, the sampler company. I purchased this directly from her website in the UK and was pleasantly surprised and pleased at how quickly it arrived, and in wonderful condition, and yeah, very, very, very pleased. I am stitching this in mostly the called for DMC threads. I've even got the thread key, you know, the chart right here, so you can see these are the called for colors. Most notably, the one big change that I'm doing is the house itself. The house itself and the red flowers. The red flowers are charted in the same color as the house. And it originally calls for 321. Where is it? Here it is, 321. And I prefer a slightly more coppery red, I think, for this design. So I've switched out my red from 321 to 3777. So that is actually the thread I'm using right now. So you can see, I'll show you in bobbin form here. It's just this beautiful sort of coppery red. And I think it's going to go really nicely with the rest of the colors in the chart. The other color I'm not too sure about keeping is the dress on the woman. In the picture it looks like it's black, but it's actually charted to be this very bright magenta, which that photograph doesn't pick up. And so I'm not sure that particular shade of magenta will work well with the 3777. So I may decide to change that color. And I only worked on this pattern for one day on New Year's Day. that was it. I have not touched this since then. I mean, I did bring this project out a few days ago, and I have put in a little bit more work in the last couple of days. But generally, the bulk of this was done on January 1st while we were lounging around in our pajamas on New Year's Day. There we go. It's so pretty. So the other big news in my life at the moment is the retreat, Stitch North retreat, that I am planning and hosting here in Canada, in the Toronto area at the end of September this coming fall. And registrations opened up on this past Wednesday. And at the moment, we're sitting at about 136 people have registered to come, which is just so phenomenal and just so fun. We have a Facebook group, Stitch North. If you're interested in joining up and finding out what it's about, I still have a few spots left because we are registering up to 175 people. So still a few spots left. And I'll put a link in the drop-down box below if you're interested. So I have been busy planning, doing lots and lots of planning this week. We had originally planned to go with a hotel that was in Mississauga. And unfortunately, as these things sometimes go, we had some difficulties coming to agreement over the contract. And it's a fairly long, involved story, and it was unfortunate at the time that sadly it didn't work out, and so we had to find another place. And so John did a fair bit of research last Friday, and very quickly, after many phone calls, managed to find us another hotel. So we are fully booked, contract signed, and plans are underway. So that's really exciting. I've been dreaming about things for the swag bag and speaking with different vendors who will have little pop-up shops. I've got a very small vending area. It's not going to be, the main focus of the weekend is going to be stitching and, new friendships and things like that. And we have a fair number of single people coming by themselves, which I think is wonderful because it's going to be such a great opportunity. If you don't have, many stitching friends in your area, it's a great opportunity to make new lifelong friends. So I'm pretty chuffed with how everything's going, and the Facebook group is quite a bit of fun. Everybody's very excited. So that's been really nice. The other Facebook group, the Friday Off the Grid group, that's the group that sort of belongs with these videos that I put out. It's been a little bit since I put out a Friday Stitch With Me video. So I was determined to get one up today because I miss them when I don't do them. So it was nice. I was determined, no matter what happened with the camera situation, I'd figure out a way. Okay. Oops. I am stitching this on a 40 count linen by XJU Designs in the colorway Rocky Mountain with one strand of thread over two. I love it. So we are approaching the end of March. And the first day of April is going to be the next time that I celebrate high tea. And if you don't know what high tea is, it is something that I started 2 years ago. And I decided that starting something new from my stash that was something that I'd been saving or, hadn't wanted to start because it was, how you have those things that you save for good, like your china or things that sit in the cupboard and you save them because you don't want to waste them or mess them up or just use them up. And I thought, I have this stash, these things that I've paid money for, that I love, that are just sitting in my closet. It's time to pull them out and use them. So I thought, okay, once a month, I'm going to have a new start. And it's going to be something from my stash, something that I can enjoy and use and celebrate. So that's how the premise of high tea started. And so I did that for 2 years. Or 1 year? 1 year. I can't remember. Maybe it was just 1 year. But anyways, at the end of last year, I decided that I'm not finishing things fast enough. And I also really, really, really love big projects. Big, humongous projects. I don't usually choose really small things. And so they take me a really long time. And so when you're starting 12 really huge things, and I did try to start some smaller things, but the majority of them were big, then you don't tend to finish a lot of stuff. And so I thought, okay, this year I'm going to keep it a little bit smaller. And I decided to do 4 new starts a year. And so I've coincided them every 3 months, the first day of every 3 months. And so this was my January 1st New Year, New Start, but it was also my very first high tea of the year. I also do a giveaway with high tea, and believe it or not, I didn't actually do a video on January 1st because remember I said I was in my pajamas all day and I was with my family and I didn't do a video, and I actually didn't choose the winner for the last high tea that I did at the end of November in 2019. So I have to pull the winner of that. So if you haven't entered yet, you can search on my channel for the very last high tea video that I did, and you can find out about the giveaway that's still open, even though it's been since the end of November. I haven't pulled a winner yet. And the giveaway for that was on the Facebook group, Friday Off the Grid Facebook group, and I have it marked as one of the announcements that's at the top of the page. And so I will be pulling a winner for that on April 1st when I start my new start. And I have a couple of contenders. See, I thought I had chosen all of my new starts already when I decided to only do 4 a year for this year. I decided which ones I wanted to do, but as things happen and new things come to light and, your friends pass things on to you or gift you with something, you start to think, I really want to start that. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to start, but I know that I'm going to love it. And I know that it's going to be from my stash. So that's exciting. Luna, our dog, her paw is sadly still giving her and us some trouble. Nothing has worked. We have exhausted everything the vet had for us. So we are now actually waiting for an appointment with a skin specialist in Guelph, which is a city that's close-ish to us here in London, Ontario. and they have a very well-known veterinary college in Guelph, and a lot of the specialists that you can go to see are there. And so we are waiting. We have the referral. We're just waiting to book an appointment to take her there to see a skin specialist in Guelph, and hopefully they can help us figure it out. We've only had her since October. If you haven't been here long or you haven't heard the story, I'll be brief. But we adopted her as a 6-year-old rescue from a local shelter, and she had a few health things going on when we adopted her, a few infections, various skin infections and whatnot, which we cleared up, one main one, but the foot has plagued her since October, since we adopted her. And she also seems to be a fairly allergic dog. I'm going to just bring this around, tie that in there. Now I can come over here to this one. She tends to be a fairly allergic dog. And every few days or so seems to break out in hives. And not a lot of hives, just a couple of hives. 1 or 2 or 3 on her back, and then the next day maybe she'll have 1 or 2 or 3 on her head. And so we're not, oh, that's too far. That's too far. There. Oop. She's on a hypoallergenic food. She doesn't get a lot of extra, we don't give her a lot of extra food or treats or table food or things like that. So all I can think of, this has kind of ramped up in the last couple of weeks, and I know the weather is changing. So, people who have seasonal allergies, perhaps it's something like that, something that she's, bringing in on her paws after being outside. Who knows? But again, good things to just sort of notice and take stock of if we're going to have an appointment with a skin specialist anyways. Maybe they can give us some insight. We'll see. So that's the update on Luna. Kids are healthy. I have 2 children. Nicholas is 11 turning 12, and Sarah is 18 turning 19, and John is currently in the middle of bringing her home, actually, from residence. Her university has closed down its in-person classes, and the kids are going to continue online classroom instruction for the remainder of the term, starting on Tuesday. So I'm not going to lie that I won't be very glad to have her back home again. I'm quite pleased about that. Nicholas, oh, he's such a funny boy. Before I even started recording this, he said something funny about my YouTube channel. He likes to tease me about it. He makes fun of me that I'm nothing like, I don't have as many subscribers as PewDiePie. I think that's who he mentioned. I don't know these different YouTubers, which is quite funny. The weather is quite nice out today. I'm seeing, if I said Simpsons clouds, would you know what I meant? The sky outside looks like the opening scene to the Simpsons TV show, where you see that blue sky and those big puffy white clouds. It's a pretty nice day. And once I've got this video up, now am I in the right spot here? I think so. Once I've got this video up, then I'm going to take Luna for a nice long walk. Get some fresh air. It's still a bit chilly today, but I mean for March, it's actually it's fairly warm. What is it now? Goodness, it's 6 degrees out there right now. And this is the middle of March in Canada. So it's quite nice weather out today. So it'll be nice to do that. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. You know what I did? I'm over one thread too many with this one. So we're going to have to back that out. But just 3 stitches. I think I can handle frogging 3 stitches. There we go. It's better. Rethread the needle. Okay, oops, I gotta back out of that spot there. There we go. One teeny tiny thread over. Now I'm gonna to be able to see this. This is I think the linen is even the threads are slightly closer together here. And playing with my eyes a little bit. There, that's better. Now we're back on track. Oop, there. So I'm doing another 24-hour rotation on this piece. And I think I've put in about 3 hours of work so far. And most of it was these 2 flowers here. So basically I had this flower was complete. I had the outlining on this flower done. And then I had the green vine done to about here. So I filled this one in and I've done all of the stitching on here and then carried on the vine. So that was about 3 hours of work. Now granted, there was a fair bit of TV watching at the same time. So I, was a little bit distracted. However, I think this weekend I'm going to take one of the weekend days and perhaps enjoy a day full of stitching. I think that sounds like an awfully nice idea. Enjoy being with my family. Maybe make everybody some hot chocolate, a bowl of popcorn, and maybe we'll have a family movie afternoon. I think that sounds pretty nice. There. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go. So that's it for me. I'm going to wrap things up here, and I'm going to go and help John bring Sarah in with her stuff. I think I've heard them pull up outside, so I better sign off. And I will see you on Monday for a floss tube update. And other than that, stay healthy and wash your hands. And I will see you on Monday. Happy stitching, everybody.